dived down the rabbit hole, like in the last report, so in March. I really wanted to understand like deeply whether there was a way, this was going somewhere, or whether it was just like basically pure pyramid scheme and I should just like completely ignore it. What I found was definitely like really mind blowing, and I'll tell you why. What I found is basically that the crypto ecosystem basically revolutionize finance in a way that completely makes sense to like people like me. So what do I need today? I need access to leverage. I think the problem today is like everybody's talking about the leverage, but the truth is that unless you're really rich or you're basically like a hedge fund, you basically don't have access to leverage. I mean, you can, even against your house, it's very difficult to remortgage. So you can never really extract any of the value that you would want to actually escape like debasement and financial repression. So that's one of my main issue as like a middle class, lambda. You basically don't have access to leverage unless you basically have like a really good private banker. And the second thing is obviously the really low money velocity in the traditional system, which is the reason why basically rates have collapsed, and you're basically getting zero return and on your equity, on your money. So basically, the crypto world, even if it's like at the moment purely speculative, basically answers both questions. And I found that really like fascinating. So you've got much higher velocity, much higher vol, much higher, very high number of opportunities. And I can basically see a world where you can democratize finance, e.g., anyone with any assets would be able to like borrow against them. So, it would obviously start with your house, which suddenly goes away from being like a pure consumption to something that you can actually leverage against. But then you're obviously going to go into your retirement portfolio as well. At the moment, for any lambda, it's really difficult to be able to like monetize, a financial portfolio. I mean, you might have a private banker and they will give you the leverage, but anyone who's just like doesn't have access to a private banker cannot do that. So I find really a world of opportunity that makes sense and basically will open up a whole world of like a much wider money growth in a completely different system. And what's amazing as well, it's basically this money growth is the rubber band for banks to basically become much more dynamic, stop looking at just private clients in terms of like leverage and in terms of where they're going to be making profits from. And also it's also a rubber band for central banks to realize that at some point, debasement and money growth is going to hit a wall where basically money is going to be leaking into a different system. So for a macro person like me, it actually makes complete sense at many levels, and that's why I basically started to recommend clients actually take it seriously and taking it seriously for me is like actually consider that the sort of like 8-10% return that you can get in those like in that crypto world is actually something that should be considered. And I'm not saying like put all your savings into that, but I think it's worth putting some savings into it. And the way I understand it as well, Ethereum is the way is the place where everything will happen. And whether Elon Musk like it or not, I don't think Dogecoin blockchain is actually going to allow all those smart contracts to actually operate. So I basically started to look at Ethereum about 2 months ago, and almost thinking about retiring now because I'd like doubled my savings. And now, joke apart, I didn't put everything into Ethereum, but I really like the concept. I completely agree that at this point it's purely speculative, but so was Amazon when they were just selling books at the end of the 90s. And I see a new system that democratizes finance, and that makes sense at so many levels.